You see my nose hairs?
It's close enough. Get the back of your head.
He's checking the NRG staff.
Check the vouchers. Hard at work.
Not everyone here is NRG. City Hotel 7 years ago.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Okay, come in the middle here. Right alongside here. Sir? More. Back up 2 steps. Back up 2 steps. Gentlemen, please. Close. Sir, please. Gentlemen. Talk to each other. Look at the gentleman giving it to you. That's it. Once again. Focus down. All right. Look at the gentleman giving it to you, sir, please. Please. Look at him, please. We're giving it to you. Thank you very much.
Sell mine. Don't sell mine. Sell my rice. Pissed off.
Your handwriting's pretty.
He
must not be a giver.
Oh, Brian.
You know.
I didn't play him, but he didn't give it this year.
I'll tell you, I don't want to hook it.
We've been in Canada. Been closing some deals.
Thanks for a better price.
Put that money on.
Well, if you're the rabbi,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm like ready to move.
See, and I was trying to get Harold to, join up.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good for business. You could drop over the 200 measly bucks that it would cost you in the first year.
That's all? 200 bucks?
200 bucks in the first year.
New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. It's truly an honor for me to welcome you all to the annual UJA Lumber and Building Materials Annual Dinner. It's great to see so many of the same faces that have been here over the years, and it's great to see so many new faces, and I hope you all will return for next year's. Tonight we have a very special evening planned, and I'm very excited to be part of it. You shall open your hand wide until your brother. Now is the time for us to actively help our brethren around the world. With your generosity and dedication, your lives will be enriched. I promise you that. A man's drive for profit should be prompted by the desire to give charity. We're counting on you tonight. I'd like to introduce the dais now from the left to the right. Sandy Lavitt, Operations Exodus Chairman. Bruce Meltzer, Executive Committee Member. Bernie Cook, Associate Chairman. William Cook, Co-Guest of Honor. My co-chairman, Michael Diamond. Billy Jelin, Guest of Honor. guest speaker, Congressman Robert Jelin. Our Associate Chairman, Michael Zakira. Richie Goldhaber, Cash Chairman. And John Krauscher from UJA, the Development Executive. Now I'll call upon my co-chairman, Michael Dunn.
Thank you, Andrew. First, I'd like to give you a little insight into what this is all about. As co-chairman of our 1991 campaign for UJA-Federation, I feel particularly privileged to be part of this gathering. It occurs at a time of historical significance to the Jewish people. At this very moment, even as I speak, in places such as Israel's Ben Gurion Airport, Jewish families are being reunited due to the continuing influx of Soviet Jews to Israel. It is called Operation Exodus, working. We have a full-time program ahead of us, and I don't want to take more time than is necessary, but I do want to spend a few moments to mention what is important. The $2 million campaign, UJA-Federation Operation Exodus, is separate and in addition to the regular annual campaign. Operation Exodus aims to raise funds to settle Jews in Israel. It is part of the national and worldwide campaign effort. Israel's share is $40 million. You will find literature on Operation Exodus on your tables. Our keynote speaker will bring us up to date on this new extraordinary chapter in the annals of Jewish history, even as it is being written. It is a chapter, I might add, in which each of us will share a part today. Before I introduce our guest speaker, I have a couple of congratulatory notes for Billy being honored this evening from Thomas Andrews from the House of Representatives. I hope that the dinner to be held in your honor on August 8th goes very well. I am very disappointed I will be unable to attend given my prior commitments. I will, however, be there in spirit. It sounds like a wonderful event. Congratulations. Keep in touch. Your perspective on issues is very important and is very valuable. Again, Billy, congratulations on a wonderful evening on the 8th. I have another one from William Cohen, also a United States Senator. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you for the annual dinner honoring William Jelin, scheduled for Thursday evening, August the 8th in Flushing. Unfortunately, I have commitments already scheduled for that date and greatly regret I will be unable to attend. However, I want to thank you, sincere best wishes, Bill, as well as all those attending. For that, I know will be a special and memorable evening. Again, my thanks for thinking of me. With warm regards, William Cohen, I'm sorry. A lot of paperwork here. From John L. Martin, Speaker of the House from the state of Maine. This is to acknowledge your kind invitation to attend the annual dinner honoring William Jelin to be held on Thursday, August the 8th. I am very sorry that my schedule at the annual meeting of National Conference of State Legislators, of which I am president this year, will make it impossible for me to attend. I very much appreciate your thinking of me. Best wishes, John L. Martin, Speaker of the House. I am pleased to introduce Representative Robert Torricelli of New Jersey. who is part of a new generation of American leadership and is already in his 5th term of office in the Congress of the United States. Despite his youth, Bob Torricelli is uncommonly influential in the affairs of our nation. As a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, his influence is felt around the world. As chairman of the subcommittee that handles Western Hemispheric matters, he is deeply involved in the formulation of U.S. policy on drug enforcement, human rights, and the future of important neighbors, such as Mexico, Panama, and Cuba. He has also been a major force in matters relating to East Asia and the Middle East. He is, of course, one of Israel's greatest and most reliable friends in Washington. Additionally, Bob has been a leader in formulating U.S. space exploration program, in high-tech research and development, as well as a prominent advocate in New Jersey for better land use, sensible environmental policies, and greater investment in education. This adds up to a versatile and diverse career, but all these diverse elements share this common thread. Bob Torricelli has never hesitated to take a difficult issue or problem wrought with political risk. As a result of this intellectual courage, he has had an exceptionally strong impact on the shape of things that matter most in our lives and in the world. Please give a warm welcome to Representative Robert Torricelli.
Thank you very much for your warm welcome and for those very kind remarks. Billy Jelin has had so many successes in his life and has had such a remarkable career. Sometimes it's important just to let him know where things stand. He received tonight special messages from Senator Cohen and Senator Mitchell, from Congressman Andrews, and of course from myself. Billy, I want to let you remind you that means that 98 senators and 433 members did not express their opinion and did not want to be heard. I want to also thank the members of the committee because in addition to sharing a special friendship, Bill and I both share a birthday in the next couple of weeks. And I noticed in the invitation, both Billy's age of 40 and the sentence that he was youthful appeared in the same paragraph. And at least for me, as a speaker tonight, it made the evening. And I'm very grateful for whoever put together the program. There are so many things about Billy that are special for those of us who know him best and for some time. So many remarkable things. But perhaps the most special is what he has given. At a relatively young age, the organizations, the National Committee of AIPAC, a president at a young age, the YMHA, Young Leadership Cabinet of UJA. All these things in the middle of a busy life with so many other obligations. Or what I noticed for the first time today, Assistant Treasurer of the Southern Maine Federation. That reminds me, as a kid, my sister and I were going to form the Italian-American League in Franklin Lakes. I didn't know who was going to be president, but I knew it was either going to be my sister or it was going to be me, because we were ready. But all those things. And so tonight, you could not have more appropriately chosen someone to honor, or indeed a more appropriate time. These, my friends, are days we are going to remember all of our lives. And they have, in truth, been over 40 years in the making. It is a great confluence of events. Make no mistake, there is no easy choice. It is, as Sharon Perez pointed out, a question of whether or not the West Bank is helpful in defending Israel, or whether Israel is spending her resources defending the West Bank. A calculation that no nation would want to make, and yet it will be before an Israeli leadership. And no doubt around the country there are people gathering as we would gather tonight, and they are saying to themselves, we did our jobs. In 48 we sent weapons, in 67 we may have sent our sons, and in all the years that followed we sent our dollars. Our job is finished, if it would be so. Our role has only begun. Only begun. In September, the Congress will vote whether to give guarantees for housing, so that for all these years America pleaded with the Soviet government, let Soviet Jewry leave to freedom, whether it has meaning, that there will be homes and employment and a chance for a life of these people in Israel. Whether Operation Exodus had meaning, and that people not only have given a chance to live, but a place to live. And for Federation chapters around America, whether or not now that Israel has been allowed to survive and go to the table, in the real moment of being tested, Arab governments, and indeed the Israeli government, will know that she is not forgotten. That no matter which path she may choose in this great national choice, the resources to defend Israel in a new vulnerability as she withdraws, or to take the risk and remain in the confrontation as she chooses compromise. Not our choice, not an American choice, an Israeli choice, but a dangerous choice. One that is only made the safer if we make the sacrifice. No one will be asking us this fall to decide whether or not a part of our country will breed another generation of terrorism. No one will ask that our sons and daughters take up arms against foes with great new weapons and a gift of time to test them on successive generations and untold wealth. No one asks you any of those things. Just this: continue to assure that your government stands by Israel and continue to contribute the dollars to ensure that Israel is strong and can survive. These Arab adversaries may accept Israel as a negotiating partner. And perhaps the founders of the Jewish state in 1948 never would have believed it was possible. But because they sit across a table does not mean they will not be watching. If ever you've given donations, give them now. This is a moment in history, as we say, that will not be visited again. The great divide between the years of struggle and acceptance and the years of security and settlement. Getting to the table took more than years. It took decades. Getting away from the table, safely, securely, assuring that we are not only the generation that saw the birth of Israel, but assured that she would not die in our time either. It is no small challenge. We honor Billy tonight because in his own life, at every stage of his life, he met the price of leadership, of sacrifice, of contribution. Commander, you're going to be honored this evening as well, because you did in a very real way too, that will touch the hearts of Americans for years beyond our lives. I came here tonight from my own state, paid the toll, because I paid going back, not only to honor a friend, but to ask you to stand with us in this important moment. Thank you all, and thank you for having me. Billy, because there were 433 members and 98 senators, who did not participate in this evening, but should have and would have. I placed some words about you in the congressional record that I want you to have, just as a token, not only how I feel about you, but I think of how we all feel about you and the special role you play. And I'd like you to have it, not only so you can remember it by these words, but so for all time in our record there'll be some reflection of this evening. Billy, congratulations. Thank you, guys.
On behalf of the committee and all the guests, Congressman, we wish to thank you very much for your speech. I'd like to call upon Sandy Lavin to give a little talk on Operation Exodus 2.
Good evening, everybody. UJA is a wonderful, wonderful organization, and when they asked me to talk about Operation Exodus, they sent me a 17-page speech to make. And they said to me, feel free to say everything you want, but include the things that are in this speech. And by taking a chance here and upsetting people at UJA, I want to let you know that you have a pamphlet in front of you, and in essence, Operation Exodus is our effort to raise funds to help the Soviet and Ethiopian Jews. That's it in a nutshell. I don't want to talk on that level. I can talk to you about how the state of Israel, their preamble to their constitution says that it will always be open to immigration, no matter how many people of Jewish people want to come to their country, they will accept them. I can talk to you about that. But I really want to talk a little bit more on a personal level. I want you to think back, just to this morning. You woke up and you knew you were coming to this dinner. You went to the closet, and I see many, many beautiful women in beautiful dresses, and think about how many dresses you had to choose from to put on today, and then how many pair of shoes you had to choose from to match that dress. And gentlemen, I want you to think about the same thing with your suits, and I also want you to think about how much you paid for the tie you're wearing today. Just the tie. Let's forget about the jacket, the pants, and the shoes. Just think about how much you paid for that tie. Now I want you to think of something else. I want you to think you're a Soviet Jew with a lot of talent, but not able to show it. Because no matter how many times you show it, and how much good you could do for that country, you were handed down. So you're living in a small home, in a cold winter, and very little heat, and you don't have a closet full of suits. And ladies, you don't have a closet full of dresses. No, maybe you have one suit that might be to go to temple, when you can go to temple, if you can do it, or when you want to pray in privacy. You may have a jacket that's warm enough for the winter, probably not. And you can't speak your mind. Think about how many times we all speak our mind, whether it's just to a fellow person or to the government. Now you have an opportunity to go to Israel. But boy, it's a big decision. Because you have to leave possibly your grown children, if you're older parents, or maybe you have to leave your mother and father behind because they don't want to leave because this is where their life was. You have to leave your friends, and you have to leave your job. Regardless of how little you were making there, it was bringing in some money. It was helping to support your family. Now you have to leave it because why? Because you want to be free. Think about it. We're all free, and how many times do we take that for granted? Now you have to trek across land and water to go to a country. Yes, it's a Jewish country. Yes, you're Jewish. But are you the same Jews that are in Israel or the same Jews that are in the United States? You're not sure. Is the language different? You bet it is. Are the customs different? You bet it is. Think of the fear. Think of how your heart will beat when you make that decision to leave. Let's go to Ethiopia. Think about how you have to look at your children whose stomachs are enlarged because they don't have enough to eat. Think about revolutionary fighting going on there, and everyone is looking at the Jews to make them the scapegoat in between this fighting. Think, how many times have you gone hungry? I can bet it's not recently. Maybe when we were younger, maybe it happened to some of us, but it wasn't recently. How many times did you have to look at a child and cry to yourself, cry inside your heart because you couldn't give them enough food? There was not enough food. Yes, maybe the decision to go to another country is a lot easier for them, But now you're talking about people that have come from 3 or 4 or 5 or maybe 10 generations there. They don't have the technology that we have today, and they're going to Israel. They've never seen a car, okay? Much less a telephone or a computer. They're going to make that trek. Think of how they feel. They don't know what's going to happen. Think of you in this position, and then think of someone from UJA-Federation who greets you and assures you that things are going to be okay, and explains to you how you're going to go and how it's going to work, and then when you get to Israel, you're not going to be left penniless and thrown on the street. No, you're going to be given some shelter. Think how for granted we take our houses and our lawns and everything else that we have. You're going to get a house, maybe the first house you've ever had in your life, and you're going to have food. You're going to have 3 meals a day. And yes, you're going to be trained. We're going to train you to assimilate into the Jewish way of life in Israel, and you are going to be able to make money, and if you have that talent, you're going to become richer and richer, just as we all have become and we have all been able to achieve. Think how much better you'll feel, knowing that those things are going to be taken care of. I can talk to you about facts up here today, about the fact that 300,000 of these Soviet and Ethiopian Jews have already landed on Israel's shores in just the last 18 months, and the fact that there's going to be another million in the next 2 or 3 years. But no, I want to talk to you about how lucky we are that we have these suits and these ties and these dresses and these shoes to choose from, and we have beautiful houses and warm clothes. And I want you to think about what we're asking you for today. We're asking you to give yet to something else. And I know you're going to say, I know it's been a tough year in our industry, and I know it's been a tough 2 years. And you're going to say, well, here's the guy, he's asking me for UJA, and now he wants me to give to Operation Exodus, another cause. Yes, it's another cause, but that's all we're asking you for right now is your money. We're not asking you to picket the Soviet embassy so they'll let more Jews out. We're not asking you to go to Israel or go to the Soviet Union and help these people move. I'm asking you to take some extra money out of your pockets tonight. When you make the pledge to the UJA, I want you to think about giving up a couple of extra dinners at the restaurants in the city for the next 6 months. I want to think about not buying that $600 suit or that $700 dress and doing without it for a year, so that people that really have nothing can have something. That hope and that chance for freedom and success, and that chance to be Jews and to feel secure. That's what I'm asking you for tonight. Think about it. I want to show them, and I want to show the rest of the world that we care. So Operation Exodus is important to us. UJA is important. Please, everybody, dig a little deeper tonight. Thank you very much. I'd like to, Billy Jelin, who's a special guy, would like to say something before we call the cards. Billy?
I wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight, especially Congressman Torricelli, and just wanted to share a couple of words with everybody. When Michael Zacharias first called me a few months ago and asked me to participate in this event, the first thing that Michael started to talk about were the people who had received this award in the past. He said, Billy, I deferred a little bit. He said, Billy, think about who's received this award in the past. Milton Siegel, Eric Strover, Leo Swerblick, Stanley Verby, Michael Diamond, Eddie Epstein, Martin Jelin, Barry Siegel, Nat Schwartzberg, Alan Swerblick, all the Walensky brothers, Harvey Lux. These men collectively represent the most important people in my business and personal life. They are the people I always looked up to, the people I admired, the people I tried to model my life and my career after. They are our customers, my friends, my mentors, our best salesmen, and of course, my father. The first and most obvious quality that distinguishes each one of these individuals is that they have each been exemplars of success in our industry. However, I thought there must be something more that sets each one of these individuals aside. I began to think about one of my earliest memories of standing on the broad staircase of my parents' house, peering out between the banisters of the staircase, muddled amidst my 5 brothers and sisters, watching a meeting being held in my parents' living room below. Every night there was a different crowd. The food was usually the same. One night there would be the Daughters of Israel retirement home. Next night, the building fund for the Y camp, the UJA, the Beth Israel Hospital dance seat selection committee, the American Field Service recruitment drive, the Lubavitcher Rabbi fundraiser, the Jewish Vocational Service strategic planning meeting, the Bethel Synagogue building fund. In later years, the causes and the quest became more illustrious. We entertained Shimon Peres, Kitty Dukakis, Leon Uris. But the scenario was always the same, and so was the food. Always a group of people who shared a belief in something got together for no money to change something or to build something or to do something that wouldn't have gotten done without them. The government wasn't going to do it, our bosses weren't going to do it, our schools weren't going to do it. No one else was going to commit themselves to these projects of social action. What these people were doing was building community. As a child, peering through the banisters, I thought, why did my parents bother? What was so important about all these other people's causes? What was so important to take them away from us kids? Why so many meetings to talk about other people's problems, when we, the kids, should be the center of their attention? Why start a new Jewish Y camp in Pennsylvania when all our kids went to the fancy summer camp in Maine? Why build a new hospital in Newark when we went to the fancy hospital in the suburbs where you could park? Why worry about retirement homes when we were young and our grandparents could live in their own homes? Why was every interest group more important than staying home with the kids? There were 6 of us. Why was there always another person or another group that came first? I think I continued to wonder about this till 14 years ago when I moved to a tiny little fishing village on the coast of Maine that nobody ever heard of until 3 years ago. Now the president comes there for the whole month of August. Far away from the hustle and bustle of suburban New Jersey, I realized what my parents were trying to knock into my head all those years. The famous Talmudic scholar Hillel said, "Do not withdraw from your community, draw from it." You are a part of your community. You gain your identity from the involvement in that community. You define yourself by how much you contribute to the community. My parents, as well as each one of the honorees who have received this award in the past, have contributed to the community, not for charity, like we've heard here tonight, but for themselves, because they became stronger as the community grew. Whether it be the roofing community, the Jewish community, the Brookdale Hospital community, the National Roofing Contractors, whatever the group, the involvement was always there. Eventually I realized my parents really were doing something for the kids all those nights. It wasn't just getting out of the house. It wasn't staying in the house. We too would become part of this community. I frankly see the lesson of this award in the role models of all of these honorees. I prefer the teachings of Hillel to become part of the community rather than the tragedy that befell the Lutheran minister in Nazi Germany when he exclaimed, "When they came after the trade unions, I didn't complain because I was not a trade unionist. When they came for the communists, I did not complain because I was not a communist. When they came for the Catholics, I did not complain because I was not a Catholic. When they came for the Jews, I did not complain because I was not a Jew. But when they came for me, I turned and there was nobody left to stand up for me." I would like to thank the committee tonight for this award and for making me part of the tradition that has stood up for others before they were forced to stand up for themselves. Now, to the business of the evening, which is collecting money. And although because I live in Maine, I'd like to announce the gift that I give up there, and I'd like to announce a $15,000 gift for the Federation, an additional $15,000 gift to Operation Exodus.
Billy, congratulations. There's a dirty job to be done, but someone's got to do it. And we're here tonight to raise some money. I want you to know that I had no real intentions of addressing Operation Exodus Phase 2, but after Sandy's inspiring speech, he has reached me. When you announce your gift, please make an increased gift to the regular campaign and a special donation to Operation Exodus Phase 2. For myself and General Building Products, this year we're pledging $15,000 in order of Billy and Sandy's speech, an additional $1,000 to the program. Larry Feldman, Feldman Wood Products. Thanks, Larry. Richard Patchy, American Lumber Company.
American Lumber pledges $36,000.
Thank you, Richard. Paul Pincus, Terminal Lumber Company.
Terminal Lumber Company, $15,000.
Thank you. Sam Henning, All American Trading. I didn't see Sam here, Tom. Could you repeat that, please, Sam? Okay, thank you, Sam. Little Andy Goodman. Andrew.
Sherwood Lumber, $5,000, $1,000 for operation.
Thanks, Andy. Seth Potash, Long Island Wholesalers. Thanks, Seth. Harry Stein is not here tonight from Bayport Lumber Company, but he's pledging $6,000. Okay, Sandy, I did it for you. Now, what are you going to do?
The suit lower $3,000, another $1,000 for operation.
Thanks, Andy. I didn't see Oliver Lassiter. Is he here tonight? It's not, okay, he's pledging $3,000 for the regular campaign and $2,000 for Operation Exodus. Mr. Burnham Lumber Company, and he's pledging $1,500 to the regular campaign. William Sweeto from Mayflower Sales is pledging $1,000. Peter Stern from Uniboard, $1,000 for the regular campaign. Harold Schottenfeld from Marlin Lumber, $1,000. Now it's my pleasure to call my collection attorney and Richard Goldhead.
Thank you. I have summonses for people who don't come up with the money. H. Verby Company, Harry Verby.
On behalf of the Verby family, $20,500.
Thank you very much. Alan Swerdlick, Camco Supply.
Camco, $5,000, $1,000 for the Operation Exodus, and another $500.
They are not here. They are going to contribute $1,000 to the regular campaign and $500 additional to Operation Exodus. I also would like to announce Waxberger Roofing, same as last year. The Dryland Corporation gave me a very generous check. Olympic Fasteners, Dan Murphy.
$1,000 to the campaign and $500 to Operation Exodus.
Hartford Roofing, Ronald Simon.
In honor of Billy Jelin, I'd like to contribute $1,000 to the Federation, $1,000 to Exodus, which would be in addition to our $30,000 contribution to the 1991 Hartford, Connecticut campaign.
Thank you very much. Anthony Raitano, Harold, and Haynes.
Not to be outdone, his nieces and nephews would also like 99 nieces and nephews, at least those that are counted so far, one mostly on the way, would like to pledge $1,000 to Operation Exodus.
Thank you. Yes.
Tonight about the importance of family and community. Billy's Karnak family and his Karnak community, all our customers, are very proud of him tonight. He's our man here every day, and the Karnak employees are very happy to pledge $1,000 to the campaign in Billy's honor. In addition, Scheinberg, who's going to be here tonight, would like to pledge.
In addition to my pledge in my community, I want to pledge $7,500 from Karnak, and because it is Billy's birthday and he was fortunate that his grandparents came from Russia, and that we could all be here now to celebrate this. And because Billy and Bram are such good speakers too, $1,000 to Operation Exodus.
Yes.
2.5 years ago, I was all alone with 4 children.
You can't use only. Thank you. Thank you very much. Come on, folks, there's got to be something. Yes.
On behalf of the employees of NRG Barriers, who benefited from Billy's vision and wisdom through the years, we hope that this auctioneer can exhibit some of the same in these negotiations that are coming up. We would like to contribute $500 towards the Operation Exodus.
Thank you very much. It doesn't have to be 1,000, folks. It can be 25. But come on, let me see some hands. Yes.
Very, very close friend of mine, and I admire him greatly, and I know how much this cause and causes similar to it are important to it. And the least I can do, and I'm very pleased to be here to honor him and this cause.
Thank you.
Billy's being honored tonight for his complete commitment to life, in business, UJA, Israel, and the environment. He came into the business in 1975 working for both Karnak Chemical and NRG Barriers. In 1977, he concentrated his full energies on developing NRG into an industry leader just as his father had done with Karnak. In 1988, he became president of Karnak as well as NRG and has been running both companies since. Even with his busy schedule, he has found time to involve himself in both the Jewish community and the environment. He has been an advisor to the EPA Ozone Advisory Committee and has spoken before the Senate twice on environment and public works. And he's even set up a nature preserve in Maine. Hopefully I'll get to see it this weekend. He's also a founder and member of the Polyisocyanide Insulation Manufacturers Association. His commitment to Judaism and Israel has involved him in many organizations. Bill is a founding member of the National Jewish Democratic Council. He's on the steering committee for the Maine Holocaust Human Rights Committee, and he's a national committee member of AIPAC. As mentioned earlier, he's also the York County Chairman for UJA, as well as the Assistant Treasurer for the UJA-Federation of Southern Maine. He's a trustee for the Rabbinical College of New Jersey and a member of the Young Leadership Cabinet of UJA. Over the years, as tonight, his family has been very generous contributors to UJA. As tonight's honoree, he follows in the footsteps of his father, Martin Jelin, and the other distinguished honorees that preceded him. It gives me great pleasure to present the award to you tonight on the night of your 40th birthday. Happy birthday, Bill. inscription on the plaque reads as follows. Presented to William Sloane Jelin, whose efforts on behalf of UJA-Federation of New York bring care, comfort, and security to the Jewish people and to the people of all faiths of Israel, New York, and around the world. Building Materials Division, August 8, 1991.
I won't talk anymore because I know everybody's hungry. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming and thank everybody for the generous contributions. There was some of our customers and vendors who could not make it here tonight donated another $4,500, and John has all that. So I want to thank them too. Thank you very much.
I'd like to now call upon Bernie Cook to present the honor award to William.
We're all proud of our children, and in this case with Bill, the reason I'm proud is that as the General Counsel of the Immigration Naturalization Service, he gave it up to return to active duty, and I won't go into his background because that's between us and the rest of the family, but I'd just like to read a few things on his fitness report from the Commanding Admiral of the U.S. Naval Forces in the Central Command. And I'll just skip some of the other parts. Just get planning of mine countermeasure operations in Iraqi minefield areas, which are critical to the success of U.S. naval gunfire missions off the coast of Kuwait, in support of coalition forces ashore and maintaining the threat of U.S. Navy amphibious operations against Iraqi positions in Kuwait. Planning and executing a novel concept of operations for integrated U.S. Navy port recovery and salvage efforts in the Arabian Gulf. Lieutenant Commander Cook entered Kuwait immediately behind advancing coalition forces as part of the CTF 151 Port Recovery Assessment Team. Despite combat field conditions ashore, the presence of enemy troops and hostile fire, in his area of operation, Lieutenant Commander Cook and the assessment team were able to complete their work and commence recovery of port critical to Kuwait's recovery. Remained ashore with the port recovery team and played a central role in the successful recovery and ordnance clearance efforts, which opened 4 commercial and 1 military ports in 8 weeks. I'll skip other things and just go down to one thing that shows you the mettle of the man. Without regard to his personal danger involved, Lieutenant Commander Cook led a team through a suspected minefield to recover the bodies of 4 enemy combat swimmers killed during the last days of the war. The previous day, a helicopter attempting the same removal of the bodies was damaged when a mine exploded beneath it, damaging the aircraft. He ends by saying Lieutenant Commander Cook served at the true tip of the spear for his entire period of active duty, and he excelled throughout that time. He has made a significant contribution to the post-war recovery of Kuwait and the beginning of the Kuwait's Navy post-war posture. I depended on him heavily for advice as well as his action, and he produced consistently at a level above his rank and experience. He has my gratitude and administration. Signed, Rear Admiral R.A.K. Taylor, Commander U.S. Naval Forces Central Command. Not a bad thing for a Jewish boy. Bill, great appreciation on behalf of UJA. I'd like to present this plaque. It says, special tribute presented to Lieutenant Commander William P. Cook for services in our armed forces during the Gulf crisis and helping preserve the security of the State of Israel. Building Materials Division, August 8, 1991.
I just want to say that in the interest of full disclosure, I ought to, and I probably should have said this while Congressman Torricelli was here, but I'm a Bush appointee in naval officer clothing. And while I have to say that it was a little hard for me to sit on the left of something, I'm sure it was hard for him to sit on the right. I never met Billy Jelin before tonight, but I want to rush back to Washington because I want to meet with the President and tell him about Billy's, what I see, most noteworthy accomplishment. Because anybody who can keep 98 senators and 433 congressmen silent is a man we need in Washington. We certainly need him in the administration. I realize his Democratic background may preclude that, but I want to thank him and tell him how much I admire him. I also want to thank you for the double mitzvah that you have presented to me tonight. First, in honoring me, you honor 542,000 other Americans who gave up their lives, answered the call for freedom in the Middle East, and their families, their children who sacrificed. So I thank you on their behalf as well as for myself, because what I did was no more and no less than any of the others did. I also want to thank you because it's rare that a child has the opportunity to see his father fell, my mother as well, without having to run for office. And so I thank you for that opportunity. Nothing could have prepared me for the morning of February 27th, which was the day that I flew in by Saudi helicopter, first to the Saudi city of Kafji, which I'm sure many of you heard about on the news, which was where we blunted the Iraqi invasion before the ground war started. And then the move up into Kuwait and later into Iraq as part of my responsibilities in port recovery operations and as the Navy advisor to the Kuwaiti Navy. War, any heroic, gallant concepts of it quickly go by the boards when you're faced with the mass of destruction, both in human terms and in terms of the buildings and the things that the Kuwaiti people held dear. Quickly goes by the board. Another notion that evaporated for me was the concept that somehow the Arab people are monolithic and intractable enemies of the United States and for that matter, the Jewish people. And I think for them as well, this was an opportunity to come to terms with the fact that Jewish Americans, and there were thousands of Jewish Americans who answered the call in the Gulf, would sacrifice their lives on behalf of a country, Kuwait, that was always known as being one that was in the forefront of the Arab struggle as they see it against Israel, had been a prominent supporter of the Palestine Liberation Organization. And they could never understand why Jews from America, and I'm sure from the other coalition countries as well, would put their lives on the line to go to a faraway small country and free it. And all I can say is that we lead best when we lead by example. And I was proud of the Jews who fought, I don't think died, but certainly sacrificed in this country's effort in the Gulf. As much as I'm proud of those Jews in the Soviet Union, many of whom I have met in my tenure as General Counsel of the Immigration Service in Moscow, who have the courage of their convictions to sacrifice everything they have in the Soviet Union to take a chance on a new country, be it the United States or Israel. So I would ask you again to reach deep and in inspiration, or in view of that inspiration, as well as those of the Jewish servicemen who served in the Gulf, to give to Operation Exodus. And what I'd like to do now is pledge in recognition of the sacrifice of my wife and my 2 young sons who had to do without me for 4.5 months while I was over serving this country, is pledge $150 to that effort, and I would ask you all to reach deep and do it some more. Thank you very much.
Pretty. Oh, sexy. Woo, baby. Stop. I heard somebody went to the
Did you know you're recording right now?
Somebody
And
went to the
you can hear
boat?
everything that's being said.
How come? How come I'm recording?
I can.
Hi, cuties.
Oh, now you're
Welcome
recording.
to Billy Jelin's party, and there's Amy and Jimmy. Aren't they very handsome?
James got to surf today. He's very happy.
He got what? Dessert? Oh,
Surf.
Oh, to surf.
You got to surf.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Stanley, say hello to William. Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hello, kids. How are you? There's the beautiful Terry Swag. Everything looks like you're having so much fun. There's Jimmy. Say hello, Jimmy.
As usual, he's eating.
How you doing? Happy birthday, Billy. 40 more years. Same place. We'll be right back here, right?
I do like it when I get a little bit.
Martini, you have a message for Billy? Say what? You have a message for Billy? No message.
Billy, we're loving this, and a happy, happy birthday. I don't know that many people who have two parties planned for one night, but you're a very special guy, so I should expect it from you. Bye-bye, Billy. Come to Connecticut.
Hi, Lisa.
Have any message for Billy?
Happy birthday.
That's appropriate. There he is, Mr. Jelin himself. The lovely Wendy Stentz Thompson. Doing hard at work. All the gifts. Oh, good. Because I was so afraid you would. Say hi to Billy.
Hi, Billy. Happy birthday.
That's appropriate.
What's with the candle here?
They're being poured. It's being poured. Reem, you have 5 minutes.
William.
I'm not going to talk for 5 minutes.
Where's William?
The subjects I know how to talk about for that
should be made to hear this.
I'm Bram. I'm Billy's oldest brother. As the oldest brother, one tends to be out of the house when a lot of stuff happens to the younger brother. When Billy was in his developmental years in high school, I was away at college. I missed a lot of that. When we were both at NYU, I was in medical school and Billy was in, where is Billy? Is he here?
Come on up front, Billy.
Come on, Billy. Come on.
When I was in medical school, Billy was at NYU Uptown.
You want to do this?
That's in the Bronx. It was in the Bronx. Billy and I used to get together a little bit. Then Billy went to Florida. I went to Georgia. We kind of separated a little bit, and a lot of things began to happen. And I missed a lot. And we hook up on and off, and I'd hear about this thing happening at NRG and this thing happening at Karnak, and I'd see a video of Billy talking before some senators or something like that. And we'd talk about girlfriends every once in a while. We'd hear things like that. But I think it really took a party like this to see all of the people who are here, who really represent Billy's family, Billy's business family, Billy's social family, to recognize how productive Billy really has been. And we have a champagne. We can all raise our glasses, whatever glasses we had. Wish Billy a happy birthday. And wish him not only another 40 years, but another 40 years after that.
My name is Freddie Jelin. My mother just said to me just a minute ago, Freddie, it's okay, you can talk, but don't say anything embarrassing. Please do not embarrass us. With that opening, you know, Bram, I have to follow up on a point Bram just made about productivity. I've seen a lot of the young ladies here tonight, and I don't know, productivity just comes to mind. But I wanted to talk to you about something else. And that is this. I want to tell a very interesting story that is going to give a lot of insight into the man, William Jelin. And it has to do with the night Billy and I used to go elk hunting together in Canada. Remember when we used to do that, Billy? Oh yeah, we used to have great fun. We'd go to Canada, we'd stay there for a week and hunt for elk. And one week we had a very successful trip. We got 5 elk. We shot 5 elk. My brother-in-law Eddie, actually he wasn't my brother-in-law, he was just dating. This is a story you really better listen very carefully to, so you're going to learn a lot. My brother-in-law Eddie came to pick us up, saw that we had caught 5 elk, and he flew into the valley with his plane and said, I can't take all this elk out of the valley. There's 5 elk, it's too many. And Billy said, now wait a second. Last year we also shot 5 elk. Last year another pilot came into this valley, the same plane, the same weather conditions, and he didn't give us all these excuses. Where's your guts? And he said, all right, get the elk into the plane. We're going to fly out of this valley. Well, sure enough, we tried to fly out. Remember what happened? We crashed into the mountain.
Mrs. Jelin, what is he talking about?
We're getting out of the plane. And I said to Billy, what are we going to do? I don't even know where the town is. Where are we? Billy said, don't worry. I know exactly where we are. We're 1 mile from where we crashed last year. But actually, I want to tell another story. And that is, you know those pictures that are outside that show the families sitting around? Do you remember the day? Mom, do you remember the day that we had those pictures? I'm not going to embarrass you. Do you remember the day that we had those family pictures taken? And first we had to get dressed up in real nice clothes, have family pictures taken. Then we had to get dressed up in casual clothes and nice clothes. Finally, we said, wait a second. How many times are we going to keep changing clothes here? Let's take all the casual pictures and then all the fancy pictures. Remember this?
Okay, Charlie.
Well,
Where's Sarah?
this story has a very good ending. Because then my father said, that man shows real business sense. And I remember Billy was only 8 years old at the time. He was a precursor of things to come. Now, Mom, you want to take over the mic here?
Simma.
I'm sure you are surprised to find me here. But I'm going to tell you the story of how I got into this family. It's going to be a long one, so please bear with me. Okay, actually to this month, 3 decades, that's 30 years ago, the Fisher Kislak family had a brainstorm and they decided to host a wild African who was coming to study, to go to college at nearby Princeton. They decided to host him, and that wild African never left. And because they didn't know his name, they decided to call him by his initials, which were OO. And so for 30 years, OO has been part of the Kislak family. But there are 2 experiences I want to share with you about Bailey. The first one is about initiation. Don't get worried, I'm not Bailey on this. There's nothing. But initiation. See, I come from a group where at around 13 to 14, the male of the village are introduced into the secrets of the village. But by the time I was 13 years old, I was already going to a British-type boarding school in Nigeria. And my father thought this would be too difficult for me. So I never had it. Billy's Bar Mitzvah was the first one in the family. And this is important because I remember the day as we were driving from Englewood to South Orange, I was very quiet. I said, what is going to happen? Maybe this is the initiation I never had. And when we came, as we put on a YAML class, which was strange to me, and I said, wow. As Billy went through reciting all this in Hebrew, I was, it became my initiation, really. Billy's Bar Mitzvah was my initiation. And I must say this, though, that he never shared any of the secrets. Otherwise, I would have been as good a businessman as he is. But he never told me. I've been trying to ask him. He has not told me. Yeah, there are things to say about Billy. I'm not going to tell you about it. Several times I will come from Nigeria and I will need dollars. And Billy will fly me here to NRG when he was just building it. It was in Stanford. And he said, come and be my consultant. But most of the time, although he paid me, we were busy sailing in one of his boats. He had various layers of boats. I'm not going to talk about that. I think the UJA testimony on Thursday talks about Billy's generosity. But the final thing I will talk about is, and those of you who are in business know him, I was the very first person Billy met who was a member of the family after he hiked around the world. I remember I was at Berkeley, I was a graduate student at Berkeley, and somebody called and said, oh, can I come over? I said, Billy, where are you calling from? San Francisco. Where have you been? He said, well, long story. So Billy came over and we stayed. He told me how he had traveled around the whole world, and then I knew Billy was either going to make it or not. Because this wealthy, like say, spoiled teenager, and Sima, don't be offended, has seen the poverty of the rest of the world. And one thing I remember, he carried all his money in a money belt around his waist. And it was that day I knew that you cannot get Billy's money without a hard bargain. So, ladies and gentlemen, really, I'd like to say happy 40th birthday to my brother, my cousin, my brother in the act of initiation. That act I never had. So we wish you many, many happy returns and many more. Just a moment, if I give us the microphone and something, you know, Billy is, let's say Apollo. The Apollo is beginning to age now. And it's a mature Apollo. And it needs improvement. So we brought something from Tennessee, which we think we have a young, handsome Apollo. Please, I want you to open this gift. It's something that you really have. We got it from East Tennessee, and it's something that is peculiar. East Tennessee. Now, it's a long story.
Billy, hold it up.
Thank you, thank you.
Now everybody from the NRG crew can come up here, please. Everybody that's here from NRG barriers. Come on, come on. Come on in. Stand. In the tune of roll, okay? We've been waiting for the big one, and this song, I think that, you know, really, I've been waiting for the big one. Wait for the big one, all the live long year. Wait for the big one, now the great big day is here. And here comes the rain, walking in those songs. And here comes the rain.
Come on, Roy.
Make a wish and blow. Make a wish and blow. Make a wish and blow. Make a wish and blow those candles out. Make a wish and blow. Make a wish and blow. The great big day is here. Okay. And top of all. I got top.
friends during a short-lived time in Billy's life when he was a graduate student in Washington. And he's been a good friend to me and to my family.
Family's been a good friend of his too.
So when I knew Billy, he was really sort of a social activist. And I know that he's very involved in social issues now, but not in such a direct way as he once was. And I've always wondered why he took the path that he did. And I heard this folk song a few months ago by Shel Silverstein, and I think it somewhat explains it. It's called Young and White and Jewish. And I'd like to sing it to you. I don't really know the tune very well, but if you bear with me, but I would really ask if people could be quiet. Okay, it goes like this. Sort of. I don't really know how it goes, but I'll try. I like to sing a song about the chain gang and swing a 12-pound hammer all the day and sing of how I'd like to kill that captain and how a black man works his life away. But what do you do if you're young and white and Jewish and you never swung a hammer in your life and you never hollered water boy early in the morning and your only chain is the chain that's on your bike? I'd like to sing a song about the coal mines, chipping away at Tunnel 22. And when that timber starts to crack, why I'd support it with my back until my comrades all crawl safely through. But what do you do if you're young and white and Jewish and you have to be in class at 9:30? And in spite of all your pleading and your crying, your mother says it's too dirty down in the mine. I'd like to sing about the Mississippi, working at the levee all the day. And when those cotton balls get rotten, you got a lot of rotten cotton, and all you get is 50 cents a day. But what do you do if you're young and white and Jewish, and you never load your cotton on the dock, and you never work the day, and you never drink off your pay, and the only levee you know is the levee who lives down the block?
I just want to say that Billy's Aunt Naomi is responsible for the last two marvelous people, the Rabbi Deborah and Oa, her adopted son.
What about
Naomi? Everybody say hello to Naomi. What about Shep? Yeah, what about Shep, Mom? No, Naomi.
One thing that everybody here can attest to is Billy understands brotherhood.
brother within his family, within his community, within work. Granted, within work he's a boss too, but he's also a good brother if you ever meet him. What can I say? Let's water skiing.
All right.
Anybody else?
I'm Sarah Jane. Thank you. I'm Sarah Jane, and I'm 2 years younger than Billy. Billy was a hard act to follow. He was always a very cool guy. When it was hip to be hard-working in school, he was hard-working. Then when it became hip to be anti-establishment, there was Billy yelling at the rabbi. He told the rabbi off, so I said, how am I going to follow this act? All along, then went to India, and I just couldn't keep up with him. But I tried, but he did let me be with friends with his friends after all those years. And then I think, well, okay, it's okay, he'll get old faster than I will. So I'll show him, he'll reach 40 faster than I will, he'll get old. Now that he's done that so gracefully, I don't know what I'm going to do. Billy is her boss, and Ann and Billy are the exact same age now, right? They're the same age, they're both 40.
Tell him how much you love him. That's all. Oh, no, I'm all set. Thank you.
I'm not a blood relative. All I can say is I'm one of the friends of longest standing, and I was the only friend that invited the Jelin family and all their 6 children on a Sunday night for dinner. And we have been fast friends ever since.
Yay!
Lisa! Everybody, a big hand for Lisa.
No, nobody wants to hear me. Billy!
I just wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight. I've done a lot of talking already this weekend, and I think as we said in New York the other night, as a lot of you were there in New York, that the person is really expressed in the community of people he lives with and the people he acts with, the people he works with every day. And I think nothing could be more gratifying, more flattering than all the people who came from all over the country tonight here. And I just want to thank everybody for coming and have a good time.
Somebody has to propose a toast to you. Come on, Billy. We're proposing a toast to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Billy. Happy birthday to you. Hi, handsome.
Sporty 40.
Sporty 40. All right. Let's get a picture.
All of us. Oh my God.
I'm not going to get this to you. Looking right here, everybody. Stand high, ready?
Let me in something short.
Sorry.
Did you believe we all came out of the same room?
glass for a few days in a row now. And I want you to tell him that.
I will. I'll tell him it's disgusting.
beautiful. Beautiful job. There he is.
Roles
And
are
beautiful subject. Oh, beautiful.
Roles are reversed. He is on the other end now.
And his nose.
Wait, would twist the red button. Oh, turn it off. This is all going to be watched tomorrow by the family. Yeah.
The gorgeous girls of Billy's birthday party.
Billy on your 40th birthday from Amy and James and all the presidents. Have a happy and healthy year.
Yeah, how come we're the only Breslins that showed up?
And wear that spring suit when the water's really cold. Serve sup.
Go for it, Anna.
Ready?
Yes.
Billy, on your 40th birthday, happy birthday, many more. Why are we the same age?
Okay, he's still filming you.
Get the purse.
Oh, this is his sister.
They asked me what I thought about Bill.
Am I
Man
his
of
girlfriend? Am I your girlfriend?
A man of great taste in women, great tasting women. Here's one of them now. Looks like a rock.
Billy sees his tape.
Billy is
Well.
This is his tape, so the commission, the bonus won't happen. But a man of that generosity and vision would surely see past this shallow, cheap, tawdry affair and realize that we are the future. Insulation is the future.
Insulation against everything.
It's not true what they say about the ozone layer. People have been complaining for years about the climate. We're finally doing something about it. And, you know, they're complaining.
Making the world a warmer place to be.
Making the world a warmer place to be. And we'd just like to say that we hope the next 40 years with Billy is as entertaining as the first. Thank you, and have a good evening. My clothes on, even. I need to get it. You went to see it? To let me get in the movie?
I don't have my glasses on.
Such a cute guy. Wide angle, nothing. You didn't bring it. So you could send me some samples.
Oh, are you talking about the loss of words?
That was a great speech.
However, what's going to happen with this tape? Is it going to be distributed anywhere? Because this is private. I mean, if we can do the X-rated version, there are a few things I'd like to say. Well, speaking of X-rated, I'd like to introduce one of the biggest stars of the X-rated industry. Could you please?
She was already on.
Oh, all right. Well, Sue, thank you very much. She works for the famous X-rated company, Patient. One of the biggest names in the X-rated industry. Thank you very much.